So the other thing that we can look for when Sean's going to be throwing the shot, okay, and look at the camera as well, is we want to look at axis rotation. We will now identify as well through looking to see if the axis point was correctly identified, and also identify if the bowler is 0-30, 30-60, or 60-90 in terms of axis rotation. Throw it again and we'll be able to watch together. Okay, very good. So again, with those 3 axis rotation types, okay, what you want to look for is the tape almost invisible facing the left wall for a righty? That would be 0-30. The tape really has to be on the edge of the ball. If the tape is facing the bowler's foot at release point, that would be like the equivalent of a 30-60, which is basically 80% of your clientele. And then if the tape is facing the camera or facing you as you're watching, that is going to be the equivalent to 60-90. So that's an easy, like quick reference way for you to tell which one of those 3 categories your bowler falls under. So yeah, he's 30-60. We found out the axis point using the armadillo. We just confirmed that it's good. We identified our bowler as being 30-60 of axis rotation. We saw that the piece of tape was pointing towards the bowler at the release point, and we'll slow-mo that as well so you can see it. So we have already identified 2 of the 5 points. So the 5 points that we need to identify: PAP, axis rotation, axis tilt, ball speed, and rev rate. So when it comes to ball speed and rev rate, you can use a fancy-dancy system like we have here with Spectre, but you don't necessarily need to do it. So the way that you want to look at this is, again, you have 5 types of bowlers. You have your extremely speed dominant, match, rev dominant, extremely rev dominant. So that's your 5-person spectrum. We're watching Sean here bowl. We see that his ball speed is pretty high and his rev rate isn't very high. So it is safe to say that he is not on the extremely rev dominant side, but he's more on the speed dominant side. And if I were to say also, I feel like it's extremely speed dominant because his ball speed dominates much more than his rev rate. Basically, all your job to do right now is to properly identify that. Not to say that something's good or bad. Everyone's got their quirks, everyone's got their bowling style, and basically our job as pro shop operators is now to take that style of play, find the right bowling ball, find the right layout to accommodate that bowler. So right now we are not being judgmental at all. All we are doing is being very analytical and getting the data. Out of the 5 measurements that we have the PAP. We have identified that the bowler is speed dominant. We have identified that he is 30-60 axis rotation. So let's go back to the ball here right now. We can now have 1 measurement that is missing, and that is axis tilt. Okay, so what we're going to be doing, and this is the reason why I tried to make the line go completely all the way around the bowling ball, is that what we will be doing here is we will be measuring track circumference. So I'm just going to kind of make these lines a little bit more drawn out. So all you're looking for is for a line on the opposite side of the grip to get a coordinate here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put basically the PAP on the south pole of the bowling ball, and we're going to take our prosect, and what we're going to try to do here is match the number on my prosect on either side. And as we see here in Sean's case, he's really on the edge of the prosect on each end, which basically means that his track circumference is the same as the bowling ball, which is 0 tilt. Full roller. So in this case here, we need to be able to either coach him out of it or maybe do some performance fitting to get him off the thumb hole. All we need to identify here in the axis tilt field is we need to identify that he is the topmost value, so 13 and 13.5, and that's it.